It was fun to be able to support something like that and bring that world to life.
Yo, Gabba GabbaLand!
Yo Gabba GabbaLand is a revival of Yo Gabba Gabba and brings it into like a 3D space. When Apple bought the show, they wanted to make that into a bigger world, something you could really go and explore. They turned to virtual production, and that let them do a full 3D environment where the land carries on.
Yo, Gabba GabbaLand, yeah!
We worked directly with art department, better to make some things possible that wasn't otherwise possible. Super tight collaboration. They have a very 2D art style, a very handcrafted look to the show. Generally how we would start an environment, they would do like a panoramic or 360 view of what we see, and then we would sort of interpret that into a 3D environment. Starting with the building the assets, so modeling, and we would then start doing a layout, sculpting the landscape. All of these things are happening in the real life models, by the virtual models as well, and then we'd get into the set dressing, starting to add like little details like little flowers sticking up. Once lighting is at a good stage, then we'd go in and do look depth, which is sort of making sure that materials balance out, and then we'd turn it over to the stage to also start blending the virtual world to the practical one, basically going and add a bit of color here and there to just make that transition as seamless as possible. So no matter where the camera moves, you don't see the transition between the two worlds. The camera work also evolved a fair bit, so they can do much more sweeping cameras because they're not so locked off. The space is a lot bigger. And then once that's done, then it's pretty much ready to shoot. When we started showing them sort of the final pieces, they couldn't quite tell what was real and what wasn't. That's always a testament to things looking believable.
We just have to use our imagination!
So a lot of the characters' colors are the colors of the environment, matching the personalities of the characters as well. I think Land was a lot of fun. That's the sort of the green, big rolling hills, really a place you just want to be in. Land was also a lot of fun. So that's like autumn forest. They had some lovely lakes, and it also felt a bit more atmospheric, that one. 2D Land was great, so that's like an ice world, really cool, because that was something we hadn't really done until then. It feels very handcrafted, and that was part of the challenge, was how do we make the assets look that way, and then also like the environment, how do we extend that into the distance while it still feels cohesive. The more that view distance starts pulling away from the camera, there's a higher chance of it becoming noisy. The more careful we had to be to make sure everything had a lot of clarity to it. It was definitely sort of looking it over and over again and making sure that every single view worked. Everything still felt like true to that world. It was nice working on something that's so different from what we usually do. This was a different type of realism. It should feel realistic. I imagine it would also been for the first time a lot of these actors and musicians would step into a virtual environment. So I think that was a lot of fun as well for the people on set. It might be one of my favorite projects just because it was so lighthearted. It was challenging in a completely different way, opening up possibilities of like new land, time, hopefully learn a couple of things along the way. This world becoming more and more explored, and to be able to have worked on something that, yeah, I can watch with my kid one day. That's the #1 goal.
Yeah! Thanks for playing with us.